Familiar faces prolong the embraces. We were always one toward the breakaway, but we're nearing chances to wake the day. They're calling you over, the methods are bolder. We're lost in the time now, reminding ourselves how we were always one toward the breakaway, but we're nearing chances to wake the day.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the big Esports conference. I am Turney Ernie alongside my good friend Mitch Mosey. Mitch, we have an absolute barn burner of a match out of us tonight.
Oh, yeah. This could be the matchup of the entire season. And I don't want to underestimate any of the other best of 5, best of 7, best of 11. See, we got any. It's just that this is a big deal, and we're going to handle it tonight in Tuesday Night Rocket League.
Here tonight, we have 6-0 Penn State taking on also 6-0 Ohio State. And really, Mitch, at this point of the season, both these teams are flawless. One of them's going to have to drop a game here. But honestly, this game could be the difference between the 1 seed and the 2 seed going into the postseason.
Yeah, most definitely. And it sucks, honestly. If we are being fully transparent, That's just competition. You go into a week of the regular season expecting to have a clean record at the end of it, and then you run into a wall. It's literally the immovable object against the unstoppable force. Somebody has to come out a loser. I just hope we have a great show as we find out who's going to drop the L and who's going to walk towards week number 8 of this campaign still undefeated.
And so we look at keys to success here. You bring up the immovable object. Both of these teams are kind of both the immovable object, as they both thrive on their stellar defenses. And, defense does win championships, but it's offense that wins games.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. You cannot get that ring on your finger if you don't have a single point on the scoreboard. And while you can stand strong and be a brick wall, sometimes the opposite team can take break by break out of that brick wall, and then you collapse at the end of it. That's why we say it's a marathon, not a sprint. You cannot run out of gas. You got to make sure that you're playing your best game each and every single game. And especially with these two defenses, strong defenses going against each other, striking first is going to be very important in this matchup. And
we'll take a quick look at the overall power rankings. Ohio State and Penn State, both 1 and 2. And this is overall, this is across multiple platforms. Rocket League, Overwatch, Valorant, to name a few. And you look down the list, it's kind of a hodgepodge of what's left in the conference, but Ohio State and Penn State really showing they are the cream of the crop here.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Rutgers, Illinois, Michigan, still creeping up towards the top, but we got to talk about the best of the best. And like you said, not only the best of the best here in Rocket League, we have multiple titles running through this league. And shout out to Colleague, by the way. I bet Dart hates me a little bit because I am late to submit my rankings every single week. I'm so very sorry, Dart. I love you. You're doing God's work for this community. But, man, those power rankings are tough on everybody else who are literally trying to be in these top 2 spots. And now the top 2 spots, the Titans battling out in front of us. It should be a great match that I do not doubt. Throwing a prediction out there, it's not going to go in 3. It's not going to go in 4. It should be an easy prediction to say that we're going to go at least to 5.
My 2 favorite words, Mitch, Game 5.
Yeah.
Along with Game 7. But we don't have to worry about that.
No. Not tonight.
Not tonight, at least. So, with that being said, before we get into battle, we'll take a quick look at the starting lineup for either side. We got Bran, Rye, and Peach for the Nittany Lions. And Bungo stepping in for Gaines tonight for Ohio State. Mitch, with a substitute coming in, how big of a factor is that with such a high-quality game?
Oh, if Penn State read the dirt sheets and you keep an eye on the rosters and you make sure that you keep tabs on everybody, especially those at the top, and you see that change, you see that substitution, you got to exploit it. If you don't, you're really missing out a chance. And I'm not saying that Bungo is the weakest link out of the trio, but you can definitely see a change of pace as they're trying to adapt to the rotation, trying to adapt to the breakaways, trying to adapt to the speed and the pace of a very strong and at this point undefeated squad as we enter game number 1. Penn State, Ohio State. Who's not going to come out on top? Best of 5. It's not going all the way to 7, but it's still plenty of room to make a mistake. Still, in this same spot, you don't want to make any, because they're going to be unforgiving when it comes to offense and transition.
And Mitch, a lot of times when I'm calling Rocket League, I make the statement of the game comes down to who makes the first mistake and who makes the last mistake.
Ooh, love it.
And with how defensively stout both of these teams are, that first mistake might evidently be the last mistake.
And we talked about the power of the defense when it comes to these two squads. You might as well be 100% right, because you strike first and then you just park the bus. You make sure that you keep that scoreline. Although, if we're going to talk about a little bit of casting cliches, I always say offense is your best defense. Let's see how they act, especially when they come out on top, as Decent tries to make the first effort. Still 2-6 on the board. First minute is come and gone. We talk about this couple of ticks being the feel-out process because you're trying to find that window of opportunity. Rye will be the one to draw first blood. 1-0 Penn State.
And the Nittany Lions on the counterattack. Just a soft sauce from Peach over to Rye. Buckeye defenseman didn't really have a chance at that one. Penn State draw for its blood.
You could call it a double commit because of how close those two attackers were going for the ball. But that was the play, baby. It's very risky because you miss that one and you leave your last man back as a sole man back. And it could get very tricky for the counter attack still. They risk it all, and it all pays off for the time being. 1-0 Penn State. I want to see again how they behave now. They got the minimum lead. Maybe they can try and just control the ball, milk a little bit of the clock, though. 5 minutes come and go. Plenty of time for Ohio State to make a comeback.
And though they're up 1-0, I don't want to see them sit on a 1-goal lead, as a 1-goal lead is nothing.
Yeah.
In Rocket League, it can change in an instant. Brand, okay. I see what you're doing there. Maybe he just needs a little bit longer to cook. We'll wait and see. But right now, it feels like the Nittany Lions that have had the better chances so far. The Buckeyes can get a shot on, but it's really just one shot, and then they got to go back and regroup.
Yeah, Ohio State does not seem comfortable taking risks so far on offense. Paid off for Penn State. Has not paid off for them so far. Flick pass last line of the fence, and at the 1 yard line, that will get denied. Quick breakaway. Could go the distance, almost went 100 yards. And not as we about to enter the second half of this first meeting. Minimum on the scoreline, 1-0 Penn State. And we're closer to that tied ball game, but again, it's just not as dangerous as you'd expect from an Ohio State offense. They are playing it very carefully, not trying to give up another scoreline added. As we see Peach put the center for a breakaway. Big banger ball, this and 50 in the middle of the air. Third rope, plancha, nothing there. Here comes 2-on-1, another simple flick. This one will hit near post and out.
Right now for the Buckeyes, they don't really seem phased. They don't seem like they're panicking at all. They're going through their motions, trusting their play style.
Yeah.
Waiting for this Penn State defense to crack. But again, the Buckeyes, they can get some okay opportunities, but nothing really threatening. This
seconds, this could be the
oh
chance.
My goodness.
I love it. I love it.
Gets a touch at the last moment. Had a little bit of boost to spare, but man, Disson tying us up. What a piece. Couldn't have come at a better time for Ohio State, as it was beginning to become crunch time. About that golden goal territory, but now it's a whole new ball game.
I always talk about the 90-second zone, as we're in the last minute and 30 seconds of the clock. You don't want to go in there trailing by 2. Best case scenario, if you have to be trailing, it has to be by 1. Nobody home. This one will put him up by the minimum. How in the heck did they find that gap? This could have been a demo or just a complete misrotation, but just take it to the house. 2-1, the Ohio State on top.
For Lissam, he just saw the gap in the rotation. The third man wasn't going to get back in time, and he's like, why not? I'm just going to take it to the house.
Great effort. Let's see how Penn State
It's a big
reacts.
demo.
We've already seen how Ohio State reacts, and now we can also tell that Brand got that dog in him. Oh, this is surprising no one. 2-2 with 1:07 on the clock.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah.
I love high-scoring matches that are close rather than just a 1-0 defensive slogfest. Give me something. Give me some eye candy. Give me something to watch, something to have fun. And right now, this is so far is a fun series of Rocket League. But go back to my initial statement there, Mitch. Who's going to make that last mistake?
It could be coming up, although I do gotta say,
man.
You might not make a mistake, but they might make you make a mistake. 46 on the clock. Penn State with the ball. It's Rye trying to do a solo play. Will actually give up possession. Cannot control the setup. Finally, Bungo, the super sub, will super bang it towards the other side of the pitch. 30 ticks to go. Peach will go high up. Bang.
Dangerous.
50. This and has to catch this one. Actually, will get some assistance on the cleanup. Rye, U-turn. Try to take possession. Another challenge. Penn State, a nuisance. So annoying to play against when they're just throwing their cards at you and you cannot fully rotate or grab. Another fill or refill of the boost tank. 10 ticks to go. Center, great read by Brand. This could catch him off guard. Nothing for no one. 3-2-1. Oh, this could get jolly. I'm already celebrating. The holidays are in place. This feels like New Year's because it's a countdown for overtime, baby. Game 1, 2-2. Who's going to come out on top?
At this point, Mitch, I don't know. Both teams have shown that they can play lights out defense and can have some offensive spice to them as well. At this point, it's just going to be who makes that last mistake. Peach with the musty, not going to find anything. Brandon with the early challenge, ball going to roll through the crease. No harm, no foul for the Buckeyes to get away with one. Cross-field pass. No one there for Ohio State. Penn State inching their way forward. The Buckeye defense scares me at times as they like to drop the ball off right in front of their net and the goal mount. But the pressure from the Buckeyes finally breaks down the Nittany Lions. And for Ohio State, they'll take game number 1. Disson with 2 goals to his name leads the charge.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. They just stole it right from your wheels. And if I'm able to say so about that last play, Brand caught flat-footed. And I know there was not enough boost in the tank. I think, guys, I caught a glimpse of either a 14 or a 17 number there in the corner.
That's not enough.
Maybe a squishy save. Maybe just try to pre-jump it. But literally the missile dropped down and they were still planted on the ground. It's difficult to make a case. And that's the mistake you were talking about. Who makes that last mistake? That's definitely the open window. You had an unprotected backboard and they took a chance on it because, again, you risk it all up front. You might leave your defense a little bit shaky if it doesn't work for you. Ohio State, it works for them. It pays off. They steal game 1. Hopefully, Penn State got that mental because I do see this one going to 5. I'm going to stand my ground on that call. But, man, Penn State got to have a little bit of an awkward conversation talking about finishing the play. I don't think they finished that defensive stance.
And at this level of Rocket League, Mitch, you have to defend the backboard. Otherwise, you're just going to get peppered. And Ohio State shows a great example of what happens when you don't defend the backboard. Your defense is going to be all out of sorts. And next thing you know, the ball's flying at your net at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you don't have the boost for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it really showed, again, especially in the worst-case scenario, overtime. And they tied you up. They forced that overtime out of you because you had the early lead. And then you had to come back, make it go the distance, but then come back, complete. Ohio State 1-0 in the best of 5. They are 33.33% of the way there. Can they make it 66? Shot on target.
Now, let's hold our horses here. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Penn State is also undefeated. Coming into this match, both teams have lost 3 games, 3 singular games all season.
18-3 is nothing to mess around with, and they've shown us so far what they mean, and they mean business. This first minute of regulation, it feels like we just picked right back up from overtime. Plenty of action, plenty of physicality, looking for the double demo. Cannot connect with last man back, creates a 50. Peach will take advantage. But just fling it towards the middle. Tango, the super sub, will get a touch on that one. Shot goes towards the net. Finally put away towards the corner, but cannot escape. They don't have deep in the blue ocean. First minute has come and gone. Peach with the lob. A lovely touch towards the corner. Can Rye get a second? No, they let it go. Great defensive reaction. Try to get this one out of harm's way. Brand, will fake the donkey. And now that could have created some huge problems if the rotation was not as tight as Ohio State had it. 90 seconds have come and gone, and Buzik still on the board.
And are we shocked? This is about how we expected this series to go. So far throughout here, game number 2, it's just about deja vu from game 1. As it was the 2 goals from Disson to lead the Buckeyes for the game 1 victory. Lissom tried to get a flip, didn't get enough on it. That's a great infield pass, just intercepted there by Rye. Penn State, their defensive end, really just a no-fly zone right now for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, great reads all over, especially on the defensive half. You gotta make sure that you jump in at the right time so you don't get caught off guard like this. Great shot, but still great save. Penn State, lockdown D. Let's see how long that lasts. This end will drop it down. Beautiful drop down. Unable to control it, though, and we'll give possession right back. comes the push. Penn State would like to open up the scoreline yet again. This time, hold on to that lead. Bungo, again, pushing that ball too far for their own good. Right, picks it high up in the air, using the backboard, trying to give them a taste of their own medicine. Cannot finish the play. Bungo drops it down again. Just short possessions, and this time I don't think it's gonna be a mistake. It's gonna be a big play coming out of either of these two offenses to see who scores the first line of offense. Line, cannot get it through.
At this point, both teams are really just swinging for the fences, throwing haymakers left and right, just looking for that knockout blow here. And we still have 2 minutes to play, but neither side is able to break through just yet. So from what I'm seeing, we might get another overtime here, Mitch. Not that I'm complaining. I'm taking you're not going to complain about overtime Rocket League.
None whatsoever, especially out of these two behemoths of Rocket League at the university level. Here comes maybe the advance. 90 seconds. Zone shot on target. Oh, out of nowhere like an RKO. How is that a save? I thought the rotation was too wide. Still they survive. Penn State clears for a great shot on target. I don't know if that was a shot or just a clear, but definitely out of Ohio State with a high hopes. 1:15 on the clock and ticking down. Brand trying to make some magic happen near post. Zero boost to work. The shot on target closes the gap. Right, 1-0.
And I was going to say both teams' offensive so far have been a little too telegraphed, easy to read. Who's going to read it from that angle? Who shoots from there in the first place? Rye puts Penn State back on the board. But for Ohio State, that is just a tough. Oh man, Bungo just robbed again. I'd like to see the Buckeyes get a bit more creative here. That's a good start. But just floating the ball right in front of the Penn State net where all three of them are lying and waiting. Not really going to work out here. Yep. It's going to be an open net the other way. Peach gets credit for this one.
Not entirely sure if that was the play. Ohio State started going 3v3 in the last third of the pitch, but with plenty of time on the clock, you're sacrificing too much. It's not the last 10 seconds, it's the last 60. And that will cost them heavily. 2-0 Penn State.
Penn State firmly in the driver's seat here. Buckeyes, they still have a shot at it, but they need a goal here in the next, technically 29 seconds to try to get a 0-second goal off the kickoff. But I think at this point, Penn State's defense is just too stout, and they're really just not going to give you any room to work with. Or they can score too. Rye gets his second. Really puts this game out of reach.
Yeah.
And Mitch, the bounce shot, it's just unsavable.
Yeah, and if I have questions about touches being shots or clears, that was definitely a shot. You saw how expanded the rotation was. There was nothing else you could add on top of it. This is essentially garbage time. Nothing is going to happen here that matters. Nice attempt though. Bungo has to be the funniest name to ever be pronounced on a Rocket League pitch. I love to say it. Yeah, I'll keep on saying it. It's the best. It's the best, but right now it's not paying off to be the best phonetically. Paying off to be the best on the pitch, and mechanically, Penn State will even us up, essentially turning us into a best of three.
Penn State able to bounce back quickly and in dominating fashion, really showing that maybe game one was a fluke. We'll have to see.
Ooh, strong words.
Strong words. I know. But if you look at their game two performance to their game one performance, to me, it just looked like a Penn State played a full 5 minutes in game two.
Yeah. And what I love about those type of takeaways is I look at Rocket League performance, especially at this level, as a ceiling and a floor, and how both of those squads they match. And right now, I feel like we're not seeing the very best out of Penn State, but they're playing way better than they did in game one, more consistent with their touches, quality touches instead of quantity touches, as I like to call them. And it really showed. It really showed on the scoreline. It really showed if we look at percentages. The thing is that Ohio State is not bottom out at this specific framing time. It's just that they're definitely decreased the speed and accuracy and intensity I'm not too sure if it's the jitters of taking away game one in overtime or if Penn State is just that good when they're peaking, but you're not following the pace. They are playing a song, takes two to tango. Right now, you're lost in the dance. Let's see if you can pick up a little bit of the pace here in game number 3. Essentially, a best of 3. Who takes 2 games either in a row or separated? I want to go to game 5. I'm not going to lie to y'all, Ernie. I want to go all the way.
I'd love to see game 5. Something I'd like to see from either side is to slow the game down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because both teams, they were playing a million miles an hour in game number 2, and neither team really found success that way. So I think in game number 3 here, whichever team can control the pace of play, slow it down some, I think that team will be the victor. Also, Lysum, don't think I don't see you in that X-Devil.
Yeah.
I saw that when we loaded
Yep.
in.
Yep.
Flying banana out here, my goodness.
Both, if you ask me. Both to try and cross it in front of your own net too, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. If that was a goal, that would have been a conversation starter. Last second save, no way. Ooh!
How does Ohio State get away with that? That's the second time this series.
You have Lady Luck playing for you. Either
they're playing with fire.
Yeah, and Penn State somehow, some way, it still has not scored. First minute of regulation has definitely been a banger, and I completely agree with the pace. It's too fast for probably their own good. Ohio State will have to have a say, especially when it comes to scoring. They can put the first pad on the scoreboard.
Big demo.
340. That's great for spacing. Can we see a drop down? Yes. Can we see a follow up? No. Question mark. Here comes Bren. Gives it the Bungo. Bungo towards the corner will pick up a hundo. Try to go for a pinch. Bumped out of the play as Peach will take over. Almost at the halfway of the pitch. To no avail, though. The offense cannot find the gap. They'll have to create it. Double attempt. Peach will have to intervene. They've learned their lesson about the backcourt because they were the ones who abused of it. 3 minutes and some change on the clock.
So far, approaching halftime here in game number 3. There's been a lot of big clears from either side. Penn State's had the majority of the chances. As for Ohio State, their attacks are just a bit too telegraphed.
Nice.
Hooks their pinch. As much as I wanted to see it, just was not going to happen. Bungo not going to let himself be clipped upon. As this team still has a game to win, that's going to drop down in the crease. Lysum right there. Not a lot of boost to work with. Gets sent to the Shadow Realm here early before he could put anything dangerous on net. And we see the Buckeyes really stuck to the perimeter, and they can't really get anything inside the hash marks here, Mitch.
I am going to echo what you've been talking about this entire series. A mistake needs to happen on the pitch for somebody to score at this point. I think they finally found their groove. Both of the squads, not only Penn State, Ohio is now probably whipping and naining. And we're listening to some old 50s music, but they're dancing now. They're dancing at the very least. And a mistake will be the move. This one will go towards the bottom of the net. 2:02 on the clock. Somehow, someway, has 2 defenders. Ohio State scores.
The ball just had Disson on a string and just pulled him around. Found its way in the back of the net. And I guess you can say Disson thread the needle. Hold on. Let's oh my
love you.
goodness.
I love you so much.
Oh man, the flying banana. It's the X-Devil. It's the new goated car. I don't know what to say. You're playing in the Fennec and the Octane. Get out of here. Switch to the X-Devil.
Is that not the? No, that's not it. The X-Devil Mac or?
Don't tell me. Don't tell me
Is
you've been
it?
saying it wrong the whole game.
No. I think it's like a variant because it looks like
like the Mark II or something.
Right. Like the second version or something. I have to Google that. I gotta get
I'll
into
give him
trading.
props nonetheless. He's playing in the Dominus hitbox, which to me is the superior car.
You know what? You can be
But
wrong.
we're gonna leave that aside. Brand trying to score here, slot it through short side. Not gonna happen.
I was trying to be nice about the hitboxes. and then you cut me off lovely because I was not gonna say something nice. Listen, we'll push. 0 boost in the tank. We'll just give this one away. Comfortable 2-possession scoreline. Can they keep it inside the 90 second zone? This is worst case scenario that I was talking about. Penn State This is not a good look for them. We're closer to that third one from the Ohio State instead of seeing that lead cut in half. Maybe I'm just jinxing them. But that effort was probably the most dangerous look they've had so far here in the second half of the meeting.
Both sides really kind of, it's really the same song and dance we've had in the past 2 games. But Ohio State's just had the favorable bounces so far. And that's just kind of what this series has come down to. It's not really the mistakes. It's just the bounces going your way.
Nice. Nice.
Speaking of, Peach crashes the net. Cuts the deficit in half. And now things get very interesting with 27 ticks left.
I've seen crazier things happen.
I've seen crazier things happen, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. And you cannot count out Penn State. They're on a roll this season. They don't want to have their first L be at the hands of the Buckeyes. They have plenty of drive to make it happen, but do they have the bounces and the whiffs for the magic to come through? That was a beautiful double attempt, though. It was intervened by the defense. Brand, double 50, a full hundo. Lovely fake to get past one, but does not have the boost to still advance the ball. 5 seconds on the clock. This is the last possession. 50 that goes nowhere. Ohio State can put this one to bed if it touches grass.
Oh!
Double touch. Looking for another neutral 50 now. Finally, it will touch the ground. Ohio State back to back. Let's see if they can keep that rolling. They're on match point here in the series.
They moved to match point, but it was a close victory. The Nittany Lions made them fight for that Game 3 victory.
Yeah.
And going into Game 4, I predict more of the same, because it's been, like I previously said, it's been the same song and dance here, Mitch. Yeah. Both teams so evenly matched. Both teams, both the immovable object, because it's taken a couple greasy goals for a team to win.
Yeah. What I want to see now, first of all, Game 5. We're
Yes.
going to Game 4, but I want to see Game 5. That's what I want to see.
Just
but
Game 5 overtime, all I want.
Yeah, that's all I need. I want to see some turbo pulse action. But the second thing I want to see is if Penn State forces game number 5, will they have a similar performance to game number 2? Will it be, I don't want to say that they were OP in that performance. It's just that the scoreline showed 3-0. And here we got yet another 1 possession game for an Ohio State victory. It's coming this close for it to be already either a sweep or wrapping it here in 4. But can you have a dominant W as Ohio State to close out the series? Or will Penn State just take you the distance and make sure you, if we were talking about a dance, maybe this could be Game 5 from game number 4, though. Before then, Penn State looking to eye a comeback. And this is how they started with a crossbar and autosave. Rye will try to make amends in the corner. Still keep on possession. Slowing it down. Oh, pass too long. Does not seem to track down. No heat seeker now. 30 seconds in. Still loses on the board.
Nittany Lions looking shaky to start. Wow. What a save from Brand. Are you kidding me? Oof. But I think right now the Nittany Lions really feeling the pressure, as they know they have to win this game. And for them, they can't afford to think about Game 5 because they have Game 4 at hand. And they're a minute gone in this game. And right now, I'd give that first minute to Ohio State.
Yeah, so close to drawing first blood. Listen, will not forgive nor forget. They'll try to go towards the backboard. Cannot complete the setup. Little fake out to try and get a defender off of their coverage. But now they just give it right back. X-Devil, what can you do? Bring us to hell. Oh, bumped midair. Now finally, Penn State with the ball. Right, dribble, flick, nothing there. As Bungo will try to kill the action. Still momentum. Peach will try to drop it down, looking for an air bump. Maybe goalie can be intervened. Oh, the slowest shot possible. What? Somehow, someway saved. Back to back, 90 seconds in. How are we still scoreless?
The Buckeyes must have just a sheet of saran wrap in front of their net, because I don't know how that ball didn't go through. I'm dumbfounded, Mitch.
That's good.
Just flabbergasted. I don't know how that ball didn't go through. Nevertheless, we still have 3 minutes to play, and the Nittany Lions are closing once again.
I break the fourth wall here. I love my job. This is the best job in the world. I hate it when I'm speechless because I'm paid to talk good.
Yeah.
And then I don't.
Because you quite literally don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And it's one of the rare occasions in Rocket League where the players and neither the casters know what just happened.
Yeah. It's a head scratcher for sure. How are we still scoring?
Wait, that's on net. Bungo,
What?
hello?
No way! Super sub?
Oh my God. Get out.
Oh man. I mean, if it ends this way.
He meant to do that.
Yeah, of course, calculated. We all saw that play. We all saw him go through that one in practice, in scrims.
Like for Penn State, you can't blame the defense there. There's nothing you can do on defense that's going to prepare you for something like that.
Yep. The laser comes through. The super sub comes through this end. We'll try to make it 2-0. We'll get denied. Oh, that 50 was beautiful, but no third man for the follow-up shot. Penn State, shaky, overwhelmed, and this is evidence of it. 2-0, the Ohio State, 2 minutes away from victory.
And the Penn State defense flat-footed in the crease. No one up for that one. Lysum, not quite sure how to say it. Doesn't matter. He's going to tap that one home. He's probably not going to send Penn State a Christmas card. But his team's up 2-0, and the Buckeyes are not complaining about this one.
We should have been able to see at game number 5, but Ohio State right now is speaking offensively, defensively, special teams if there were any. We're about to enter the 90-second zone. Worst case scenario for Penn State, trailing by 2. They want to cut that lead short, at least slice it in half. Flick, pass, nobody there for the shot. Open net, actually. Double whiff by the defense. 2-1, Penn State on the board.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 when 2 players on the same team are going to whiff, they're going to end up getting scored on. Nittany Lions cut the deficit in half just as we asked. Now they got just about 87 seconds left on the board. It's more than doable to get one goal. But Bungo, he must have an 8 a.m. class or tomorrow or something. He wants to go to bed. Put the series to bed. As it's 3-1 for the Buckeyes. Just when Penn State thought they had a chance, they get the door slammed in their face.
Spain without the S. You hate to see it for Penn State, but maybe they can make amends. Oh, 2-on-2 makes a goalie jump, but not the other defender who hangs on to hope. Man-on-man coverage. Love to see it. 1 minute on the clock, still down by 2. Need a goal for every 30 ticks. This could be the first one. Pass opportunity, cutting the passing lane. Shutting it down. Peach will get bested in the 50. Shot on target. Rye will have to put it away. How long can you last on defense? That don't matter. That's not the question. You need to score, baby.
Need to score 45 seconds. Again, still time, but for the Nittany Lions, they've been completely just shut down on offense here in game number 4. Not quite sure what has happened through the intermission between game 3 and this one. Rye pops, trying to smash this one through. Crash in the net. That Smash Mouth Rocket League at its finest.
I am putting my hands together like a little, what is it, a fly? I'm a villain. I am excited. I am pumped. 30 ticks to go. This could be game. Who is gonna fall? Penn State just less than 30 seconds away from being the victim. And Ohio State staying undefeated. Unless we see some Rocket League magic happen. 50 in the corner. This is a dangerous ball from the backboard. It'll be a clearance, but actually they slow it down. Lovely to see this and be the one to just make sure that ball is nowhere near the offense. Oh, it's a traffic jam for Penn State. Last 10 seconds. Cross not found. 3, 2, 1. Peach bump, and now the Ohio State will put this one to bed. Make it touch the ground right.
Hold on.
We'll have one last touch on it. Going the distance. Oh! The Ohio State in dominant fashion. Slap in the mouth. They finish it in 4. Woo.
Now that's what I call a Rocket League series.
Yeah.
I wish every Rocket League series could be that. Just hotly contested. I know they all weren't 1-goal games, but it felt like that every single game.
Yep. Yep.
For Penn State, you drop the 5-1. The one team you lose to is number 1. So it's not like, okay, we lost to the best team in the league. We're still number 2 out of 16. And like I said at the top of the show, this game or this series really is just going to be the difference of who's going to be the 1 seed and who's going to be the 2 seed. Unless something crazy happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And someone takes down the Buckeyes, knock on wood. But we'll have to see.
Yeah. The Buckeyes move on to 7-0, improving their record, staying clean, undefeated. Penn State falls 6-1, still plenty good. It's just at the halfway point of the season, we can already tell with this round robin that the Ohio State will be a team to fear as we progress to their campaign. We'll see how they fare off against the rest of their schedule. But right now, they're looking to clean up and just run the table. And let's see if they can stay with a fat 0 on the second column. No tallies added. Penn State denied. Let's see if another formidable foe appears down the line. Penn State, plenty of time to regroup. Let's see if they can finish with just that one loss to their record.
Now, it's a thing to note. Illinois Esports is also 6-0 this year. I'm not quite sure who exactly they've played so far. But if I'm Ohio State, you can't be counting out Illinois just yet.
Yeah. It's very tough. It's very tough because what I love about round robin is that there are no question marks. You play everyone, and that's the point. You have a showing against every single squad, and you don't have any excuses. And it's lovely to see that you got that end result, despite everything that happened on the pitch. I do wonder, though, for the Ohio State, could this have been a lucky break, stealing that overtime? Very talented roster, but being that close to dropping the very first game, which essentially tells you everything you need to know about the rest of the series. Penn State had to peak to get a W, just one W off of the best of 5. The Ohio State, just 1 possession games in every single victory. It's very tough to see. Penn State, you got to keep that mental strong because there's a very long season ahead of you. Still, half of it to be played. And this is just another week. You got to go back to the grind. And I want to see this rematch at some point because this could be a classic for this league.
And thing to note, week 8 is the last week before the winter break. So I'm sure that'll give teams a little time to, de-stress a little bit, kind of not have to think about Rocket League for a couple weeks. And then you kind of kick it back into gear for the last half of the season and really make a push for that postseason. So things still not drawn in the sand just yet, but the Buckeyes are still undefeated here, Mitch.
Yeah, it's definitely something to feel good about. This week is going to be a great day from Tuesday forward. I can bet my mask that it was a little bit dreadful to enter this matchup because you didn't know how you were going to walk out of it or how you were going to feel after it. And now that you got the undefeated thing going on for you, I bet that it's going to give you even more confidence entering those other matchups with not undefeated teams. Even if you run into another squad, you have the odds in your favor. Penn State, again, just shake it off, baby. Tay Swift.
I'm a big T Swift fan. I love that. And then Mitch, this isn't it for the big esports conference for the week. Tomorrow we got Smash Valorant on Thursday. So plenty more action for big esports conference fans here. Collegiate fans all across the country now with the addition of UCLA and USC.
Just happy. It's a great time to be alive. First and foremost.
Good timeline.
And then the best probably, baby. And then a great time to be an esports fan. Stick around. You're watching this on YouTube or Twitter. Click that follow button. Come on. You don't want to see us get sad on stream or sappy, but we will greatly appreciate it. You're a great support, and we got banger after banger after banger. You don't want to miss any of the action.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for myself, Ernie, for my great friend Mitch here, this will be it from us tonight. Have a good evening. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Say with me, of all the joy that we got.